Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the context-free grammar. So first we will just look into the definition of a context-free grammar. So context-free grammar is a set of recursive rules used to generate strings. So in context-free grammar you will have certain rules which we will apply to generate strings. So usually a context-free grammar is defined as a quadruple. What do you mean by quadruple? There will be four things in your grammar. So G is equal to V, T, P and S. Now we will just see what are these four items. V, T, what V stands for, T, P and S stands for. So first V. V is a set of variables or non-terminals. So you will be asking me what will be non-terminals. So non-terminals or variables can be replaced by other variables or terminals. They are usually represented by capital letters. So in your context-free grammar, if you are seeing capital letters, they all belongs to this V. Means there will be a set of variables or non-terminals. So the capital letters which you are seeing in your grammar, they are the non-terminals or variables. So they belongs to this particular V. Next, terminals. I told you this non-terminals can be replaced by other variables. That is, you can substitute again the values for this capital letters. But terminals, we cannot replace them with any variables or other non-terminals. It cannot be replaced and they are usually represented by small letters. So wherever in your context-free grammar, if you are seeing a small letter, that belongs to the category of terminals. Next, I told you we are applying a set of rules in order to generate strings. So these set of rules in context-free grammar, we will call them as production rules. Now, all the production rules in your context-free grammar will be of this form. A implies alpha. So what this A? A will be a single non-terminal. Single non-terminal. You already know what is non-terminal. So the capital letters which you will be seeing in your context-free grammar is a non-terminal. So this A stands for a single non-terminal. Now what this alpha stands for? So it is a combination of terminal and non-terminal. Terminal means it's a combination of small letters as well as capital letters. Now when you go into the examples, you will have a clear idea of what is a context-free grammar and we will find the language which is accepted by that particular grammar. So let us come to an example. Let us see an example how it works. So I already told you whenever you are having a grammar, you will be having four things within it. One is V, T, P, S. Please just keep this in mind. This is very important. V stands for variable or non-terminal. T stands for terminal. P is the set of rules and S stands for the start symbol. That is, whatever we are going to write S. S is the start symbol. Somewhere we have to start. So that will be represented by S. So V is equal to set S. So we have given a grammar. In that grammar, we are having only one letter, that is S. That's a capital letter. So I told you whatever capital letters you are seeing, that belongs to this particular V. Next is T. I told you always terminals will be small letters. So you have two small letters or terminal symbols here, A and B. S is equal to S. I told you S stands for the start symbol. And P means these are the set of rules which we are using to generate that particular language. So we are just going to start with the concept. So just see here. First we will write the production rule. So S implies A, S / B. So here you can see there is a separation. AS and B. So S implies AS as well as S implies B. So first you have to take one part and then you substitute for that. Then we go for the next. So first we will take S implies AS. Now you see here on the right hand side, not on the left hand side. This is the start symbol. I told you A implies alpha. A implies alpha. So just see here, A implies alpha. So A is a non-terminal symbol and alpha can be a combination of terminal symbol as well as a non-terminal symbol. So what we are going to do is, we need to find the language which is accepted by the grammar given above. So first, S implies AS, and I told you already this non-terminal symbols which can again substitute it with some other values. So already you people know that S gives you AS. So just substitute for this S AS again. A you write it like that. For this S I am writing this AS. AS. Correct? Now A. Again you are having S. For again this S you can substitute AS. Now A. Again S is there. If you want, again you can substitute A and S. This one. So this S is AS. Okay. Now I have already told you there is one more thing we are having for S, that is B. So you can write it A. This A also you write, and for this S you put B. So see here A, B. You are getting one string, right? So next, again one more substitution you can do. This is one way. Other one, directly write this A here. For this S, I can substitute directly B here. So you'll get another string, AB. Okay? And S gives you AS. For this, you can write A. This A, I'm writing it directly here. For this, again, I'm writing AS. So just see here, A, S. Okay? And A, this A. And for this S, I'm substituting B. So I'm getting another string, A, B. So here you can have any number of A's and you can have one B. So what will be the language accepted by this particular grammar? So any number of A's, or it can be without an A, because you just see here S implies B. Here there is no A. So you can have a language which is having only B, and you can have a language with two A's, one A and B, and you can have any number of A's and B. So generally when we are writing, we will represent it as L of G is equal to any number of A's including epsilon. Means no A, there is a condition where we don't have any A. So we can write it like this, A star, and there is only one B. So that B. A star, why I am writing? You can have any number of A's including epsilon. Means here you don't have an A. This is a condition where you don't have an A. So that is why we are writing star represents means any number of A's including epsilon. So the language which is accepted by this grammar is A star B. Okay. Now we will see one more simple example. So G is equal to V, T, P, S. V is equal to S, A, B. So now you see here how many non-terminal symbols or how many capital letters are there? 3. S, A and B. Now terminals. They have given two terminals, A and B, small letter. Now we are just going to see the production. S gives you A, B. A implies A. For B implies B. And please keep in mind, S is your start symbol. Even if it is not given, S is your start symbol. So we will start with first production rule. S gives you AB. So here both are capital letters. So both of them we can replace it with some other variables or non-terminals or terminals. Okay, so first you already know that for A you can substitute the small letter a. So first I am starting for this A, I am substituting small letter a, because already we have that rule that you can substitute for capital letter A, we can substitute small letter. And this B you write it like that. In the next step, what you have to do? This A you write it like that. For this B, already we have a substitution. We can replace it with the small letter B. So A, B. Is it clear? So generally we don't have any further language. So the language which will be accepted will be L of G is equal to A, B. I hope it's clear for you. Thank you.